So I want to go through a couple of things. First of all, there is real problems in China. China is still closing everything down, and their society is collapsing. Shanghai, there are stories now, and it's amazing because these are Americans that live in Shanghai. And in the story that was, I can't remember, it was an American journal, they did not want to be identified in fear of repercussions. And what they're saying is, as soon as this lockdown's over, I'm out of here. I love the quote from one of them that said, the problem with this is there's no one to turn to for help. Bingo. Now you understand the problem with an all-encompassing government. Whenever they decide they're going to do something, there's no one to turn for help. Who's going to help you? You going to call the police? Because that's the government. You going to call the politician? Because that's the government. You going to call the military? Because that's the government. You going to call the media? Because that's the government. So it's falling apart badly, and the ships that are stuck in port and trying to get into port, unlike anything the world has ever seen. This is much worse than it was with COVID. Remember when we couldn't get anything? Now it's causing all kinds of problems, and we are just at the beginning of this story. This is an epic black swan event. And with the war in Ukraine and the bird flu pandemic, I don't know if anybody's been paying attention to that, but that's causing real problems here in the United States. And this is assuming now that in the next 12 months, there are no natural disasters. We are now facing the worst global food crisis since World War II. I want you to think about this. The worst food crisis since World War II. This is a problem. Senator Roger Marshall said that we are going into a worldwide famine and, quote, it is definitely going to happen. Now, let me just give you a couple of things that just, the low-hanging fruit here so you can understand what's coming. You're going into the grocery store. Have you noticed that there's not empty shelves, but they're not as full as they usually are? If you've noticed that, you might have noticed that in the canned dog food. Canned dog food there's starting to be a shortage in America of canned dog food. Not going to be able to get it. Why? Couple of reasons. Chicken and turkey, because of the Asian flu, now going through our bird population, which we are just slaughtering turkeys and chickens left and right. You can't get cheap food for your dog. You can't get the chicken and the turkey for the dog food. Plus, there's an aluminum can shortage. There's a shortage of aluminum. Those two things are only going to get worse. Now, if you also are heading into summer, wherever you live, and there are pools around, try buying chlorine. You're about to see a growing problem with chlorine. The pandemic is not the problem this time. This is Hurricane Laura in late 2020. It leveled the facilities of a major chlorine manufacturing plant in Louisiana. 40% of all of our chlorine is made at that plant. Well, that was 2 years ago. Why isn't that plant back online? Because of the building supply shortage. They can't get it back online because they don't have the supplies they need to rebuild it. There's also the baby formula shortage that is continuing and getting worse. Have you tried to buy bulk food? I kind of hang in the circles of preppers, and my church is big on this. You try to go to, they're always like, we got food. Don't worry. You can just come get food and buy the food here at cheap price. You can't buy it. You can only buy it in limited supplies now. That is remarkable. Rice is going to go up. Rice is going to go way up. The food shortages are going to get worse, and we will feel them here. Over in Europe, they're already rationing cooking oil because of the Ukrainian war. Inflation, supply chain, shortages of energy, food, raw materials, and labor are all going to accelerate this. And the war is only going to make things worse.